Hi class, and welcome to Sport Communication. So let's start with chapter 1 and 2. So chapter 1 is about the study of sport communication. Sport is a major global industry and continues to grow. Near the end of the 1980s, the U.S. gross national product was estimated at $50 billion. A decade later, it was about $152 billion. Toward the end of the first decade of the 21st century, it jumped to $213 billion. And in 2014, it was estimated that the annual global sport industry was about $1.5 billion. Things that contribute to this growth include gambling, fantasy leagues, licensed merchandise, sport video games, and collectibles. It shouldn't be surprising that job opportunities have increased as well. Sport communication is a major reason for the rapid growth of the sport industry. The advent of the internet in the late 20th century and social media in the early 21st century increased platforms for consumers to retrieve information. Despite this vast array of changes, the growth in sport coverage is best indicated by the dramatic growth of sport television contracts, which have largely fueled the growth of the professional and major college sport industries in the U.S. The NFL collected just under $7 billion in 2015 from CBS, DirecTV, ESPN, Fox, and NBC through its new and ongoing TV contracts. The NFL's latest deal with DirecTV for its Sunday ticket package, which was announced in 2014, was worth 50% more than just 5 years earlier. Like the NFL, other U.S. professional sport leagues have reaped ample financial rewards from recent TV rights deals and increases in general media exposure. The NBA renegotiated its TV deals with ESPN and Turner Sports in 2014 for an annual of $2.7 billion, which constitutes an increase of 186% over the league's previous contracts with the same two partners. Professional sport is not the only segment in the sport industry that is growing. Intercollegiate sport is also growing in size, influence, and revenues. The over 100-year-old NCAA has grown into an institution that encompasses more than 450,000 students in athletic competition, 89 men's and women's championships, 23 sports, and 3 major divisions. In recent years, the nonprofit NCAA has received 90% of its revenue from contracts to televise the 3-week Division I men's basketball tournament, which is otherwise known as March Madness. Because of its enormous size and scope, the sport industry is best understood when its various components are categorized into segments. Given the industry's complexity, it can be segmented in multiple ways, but the Sport Management Program Standards and Review Protocol segments it into 10 areas of academic content. So those 10 areas are socio-cultural dimensions, management and leadership in sport, ethics in sport management, sport marketing, communication in sport, budget and finance in sport, legal aspects of sport, sport economics, governance in sport, and field experience in sport management. In each of these segments, a vital role is played by communication. Beyond sport media, sport communication also included interpersonal and small group communication, organizational communication in sport, sport public relations, and other components of the field not categorized in the models such as sport advertising. This attention to communication is appropriate because sport communication plays a vital role in the management of sport. Without it, professionals would be unable to set strategy, advertisers would be unable to promote products and services, and members of the media would be unable to cover sports. Sport communication is essential to the continued health and growth of the sport industry, and that's why we're having this class, and that's what you're going to learn throughout this class. So let's transition to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is about careers in sport communication. The multi-billion-dollar sport industry is full of exciting and challenging career opportunities. Most of the jobs in the sport industry involve communication, either writing, speaking, or interacting. And this chapter will help you to understand the jobs available in sport communication and how to prepare yourself for a position in sport communication. The careers in sport communication fall into 5 categories. So there's management, which could be like a VP of communication for the team or a CEO of a sport broadcasting network. It could be media, so there could be a sport broadcaster or a sport writer. There could be support services, so a sport information director or media relations coordinator or a director of public and community relations. Or it could be entertainment, which could be a video game designer, a sports filmmaker, or a software developer. Or it could be miscellaneous, so it could be a media researcher or a sport media buyer or a sport communication educator. In addition, career opportunities in sport communication have been greatly influenced by the convergence of mass media. The increased overlapping relationship between media entities have resulted in the increase of the variety of multimedia skills needed by individuals who work in sport industries. Media convergence provides a wide array of opportunities for professionals who possess a strong skill set and an adaptable mindset. Managers and administrators serve as leaders in the field of sport communication. They manage employees, strategize, organize campaigns, and handle budgets, policies, ethical issues, among many other things. Managers and leaders also work with stakeholders and build those relationships. They oversee the day-to-day operations of the sport organization. In the past, primary sport occupations were sport journalists for newspapers. Newspapers still make up a large portion of mass media, but people get their sport news in a variety of different ways, which means careers have changed. Careers include designing and maintaining sport websites, coordinating a team, an organization, or a media outlet's social media efforts. It could be writing a sport book. It could be writing scripts for a sports movie, and that's just to name a few. But if you want to work in a sport industry and you don't want to be a sport writer, there are opportunities in operations or publishing or accounting or marketing, finance, sales, human resources, public relations, business development. All of those jobs and many more are important to keep the sport organization moving in the right direction. Every department plays a role in making sure that the organization meets its goals. There are many opportunities in the sport industry of radio and TV. So behind the scenes, there are opportunities for sport programmers, directors, producers, media production assistants. On air, there are opportunities for sport anchors, broadcasters, and reporters. Other opportunities for radio and TV include producers of sport training materials or sport commercials. The amount of internet-based sport information continues to increase tremendously. People are getting their sport news via the internet more now, so organizations need to keep up. The rise of sport-oriented sites and social media presence has prompted the need for web developers, web designers, animators, webmasters, and content coordinators. With all of these different job prospects, there's bound to be competition. So you need to make yourself more marketable. And there are ways to do that. One, of course, is doing well in your courses, but others are to make sure that you're reading sports-related literature, so books and magazines, but also to stay up to date on trends in sports and with athletes. You want to become involved in academic professional organizations. They provide educational and networking opportunities that could help you by putting you in touch with influential people that could help your career. Networking is a critical factor in any career, but especially in sports. You never know when you can meet somebody who could change your professional life. So use every opportunity you can to network and make sure that you're getting your name out there and they're talking to as many people as you possibly can. So no matter what type of career that you're looking for in sport, there's something out there for everyone. You just need to do your research, you need to do your background, and find what you're looking for.